Are you tired of the long lines and impersonal service you get at the post office? Well, we have a solution for you. Pack Mail is an all-in-one mail center conveniently located in the Fry Shopping Center at 3218 East Bell Road, right here in Phoenix. Owned and operated by Arizona residents Mark and Vicky Battaglia, you can be sure of getting personalized professional service. They will pack, crate, freight, and ship your items anywhere in the world. They work with all the major carriers like DHL, UPS, USPS, and Federal Express. Need an address for your home business or startup company? They have P.O. boxes on site where you can receive and pick up your mail anytime, and their knowledgeable and courteous staff will find a way to ship that awkward or heavy item. You can even have your packages picked up and delivered for a small fee. Their motto is, if you can imagine it, we can ship it. Drop in on the good folks at Pack Mail and let them do the work for you. Pack Mail can be reached at 602-971-2300 or email at info@weshipphoenix.com. That's Pack Mail, 602-971-2300 or info@weshipphoenix.com.
I'm Senator Sonny Borelli, and when I come to Phoenix, I always want to be informed, so I tune in to Hub Radio Phoenix. You want to be informed? I suggest you do the same. Make sure you tune in.
In a world where security matters more than ever, Lionheart Security Services stands head and shoulders above the competition. Whether it's airport security, high-rise residential and office security, event security, warehouse security, or even personal security. Call the best of the best. Lionheart Security Services. We provide armed and unarmed officers. Our armed officers are held to the strictest standards of 90% accuracy, 20% higher than Arizona standards. When it comes to securing you, your goods, and services. Call Lionheart Security Services, 480-485-2304, or find them on the web at lionheartsecurityservices.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael Morrison with Hub Radio Phoenix. If you're looking for secure news, the truth, and nothing but the truth, you found it right here at Hub Radio Phoenix.
Hey, I'm known as the toughest sheriff in America, but I'll tell you one thing. When I want the real story, I go to that tough station called Hub Radio Phoenix to get the real story.
Hi, I'm Marta Llamas and I own a commercial cleaning company. Now that many people will be getting back to work, let's get your facility ready for them with our total disinfecting, wipe down, and fogging procedures. Our two-step process will help you ensure that your offices are safe. Call me today for a free estimate, and together we can help protect your employees. Thank you, and let's continue to stay safe.
Welcome to Backstreet Gossip, current events, news talk, and political commentary. Now here's your host, Ron Ludders.
I am your host, Ron Ludders. I love that applause, even if it's my mom. It's doing it. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, welcome to Backstreet Gossip. Tonight we have a really neat show. And my partner here, Mr. Ray Michaels.
Hello, everyone.
And today we have one of the prettiest politicians in the whole state of Arizona. And this is Kathleen Wynn.
Kathleen, but I'll take
Kathleen.
it. I'll take being the prettiest, and eventually you'll get my name right. Ron.
I have known her for so long. I always call her Kathy, but she doesn't like that, you know. That's why I call her Kathy, because she doesn't like it.
I outgrew it a little bit ago, 40 years ago, but it's okay.
But at any rate, this gal is currently serving in one of the, I think one of the national, the best national educational system, in my opinion, is the Maricopa County Community College Board.
Yeah.
We have a phenomenal board and a phenomenal system to educate our Arizona citizens. And I was so proud to be a part of your election a couple of years ago. Tell us about what it's like to be on this board, because it's a mixed board. There's conservatives and there's goodness knows what.
Yes. Well, the board right now, unfortunately, is more conservative, or not conservative. It's more liberal than conservative. So we have 3 to 4 split. It's supposed to be nonpartisan, but I don't think we do that anymore. And so the college, though, is because of COVID, was shut down, and we are slowly coming back up. We shut down really quickly, but we've lost a lot of students, a lot of enrollment. But we have amazing programs: technology, nursing, law enforcement.
One of the best nursing schools in the nation, actually.
Yes, we do. We have a 2-year waiting list to get into our college nursing program, and we have it, I think, at 5 or 6 of our campuses. And so, but it's been tough. The nursing program is facing some challenges right now, and just getting students, and then the mandates from the hospitals for vaccines, and there's just it's a very interesting time.
And you know, Ray, you're not going to believe this, but I have an associate degree in industrial television from one of the community colleges.
What, industrial television?
Industrial.
That must have been the really big ones from way
That's
back
when that's when they used tubes. That's before your time, Ray. You wouldn't. What's a tube?
No, but you know what? I saw it at the Smithsonian, so I
saw one in the Smithsonian.
Now, Kathleen, for those for our viewing audience who's watching around the United States and around the world, tell us about the system. How many total colleges are there in the Maricopa system?
So thanks. It's a great question. There's 10 colleges. 9 have physical campuses, and one of those campuses is Rio Salado, and they're an online college. So we have, at full capacity, we have around 200,000 students.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big
It is.
network.
It's huge.
And your campuses are really nice, too. I mean, they
We
really
have one
are
right up the
facilities.
street, Mr.
Paradise
Miles.
Valley,
Here.
or
It's the Paradise Valley Community College.
And you know what's so nice about the community colleges is that no matter what age you are, you can still apply and take classes and feel at home. You're not like an outsider if you want to take, a writing class or a music class or something like that.
It is exactly that. It's for all ages in the community. Like we talk about lifelong learners, right? So that there's no good time to do this. And primarily, one of the things that the community college is doing really well is looking at the needs and the job needs of the community and matching those. So, right now we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need framers, and we're offering those courses so that if a 4-year college isn't for you, everyone doesn't need a 4-year college.
Exactly.
But we're meeting the job needs of the community, and that's one of the things I think the community college is really positioned well to do.
More and more, Ron, we're finding out that, they say, well, you have to attend college for 4 years. You can start in the community college, but then you really need to go to a university, right?
4-year, yeah.
But when you come out with a degree in underwater basket weaving and you try to get a job to pay back the debt from going to a university, the technical schools, the community colleges are where a majority of the people can find a really good lifestyle, a really good business, and find the trade that they need.
Have you hired a plumber lately?
You know what's nice to have a plumber around, Ron? Do you know why it's nice? You always have a place to set your power tools. Because they wear the pants so low.
Oh, I get it. Ray, if you remember back about 5 or 6 weeks ago, we had Bruce Goodmanson, and he wrote a book about college is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
if you've
exactly
read
right.
his book.
Yeah.
They live here in the valley in Mesa, and it's very interesting because he talks about if you want to make money, you don't want to go to get a typical 4-year degree. You want to become a plumber. You want to become someone that is in big demand. Plumbers are. Saturday, Sunday, ooh.
Well,
As an accountant, I was never called out on Saturday and Sunday to do anything.
Except during tax season. possibly.
Except in tax, and I wasn't a tax accountant.
If you want to be an engineer, you want to be an architect, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, it's almost mandatory that you have to go to a 4-year university and then further
Plus,
education.
post-grad.
Right. But for the average person, business degrees from a community college, that can take you far.
It can, and the other thing is if you're going to go to a 4-year college, all the basic requirements are the same. So how much debt do you want to be in? Do you want to have a 4-year degree debt structure or a community college and then 2 years at the main school? It's a lot less expensive. You'll be paying off your debt. So a lot of people start at the community college. We have a really high graduation rate. So a lot of kids will go to the 4-year college, not do well, come back to the community college. But all of our students that start with us and go on to the 4-year, we have like a 90-something% graduation rate.
That's amazing.
It is.
It is. It's phenomenal.
So give us an idea of the price between a community college and a university nowadays.
I think I think our credit hours are $87 per credit hour. Really inexpensive. I don't know what a four-year college. I just paid for 6 of them.
I think it's
You
$1 billion.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
I had a lot of daughters. I had to pay for 5 weddings. It's just a lot of money. But I
And
think
congratulations on the recent wedding.
yes,
That's
I'm
fantastic.
14 grandkids, and I'm going for 20. And let's hope this.
So this was
Ladies
your
and
last,
gentlemen, she does not look like a grandma.
Not at all. So this was your youngest daughter just got married?
Yes. Yeah.
What is her name?
Paige.
Paige. Well, please send our congratulations from Hub Radio Phoenix.
I will let her know.
Directly to her, and I know that will bless her greatly.
Yes, and she's in Nashville, Tennessee, so I will let her know. And honestly, all 4 of our kids went to the community college, so we were subscribers to what I am saying. And thank you for that.
Kathleen, you have a very interesting background because I've known you for some time. One thing that we did discuss just recently, and that was something, Ray, you just found it out too tonight, that there's somebody in her family that was named Wilson. It wasn't the football player.
No, and it's not the person whose name is on the ball.
But his name is very prominent on a piece of Americana.
Actually, 2 documents of Americana. Tell us about that, Kathleen.
So my husband's great, we'll go back 6 or 7. Grandfather is James Wilson. He's one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and one of the drafters of the Constitution.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, and he was appointed by George Washington, and he served on the first Supreme Court of the United States of America. And I just think it's so amazing that all these years later, his great-great-grandson, my husband, spent his whole career in Army aviation and helped design 26 different aircraft. He's best known for his work on the Apache attack helicopter. But isn't that neat to think that his grandfather started this country, and his grandson, many years later, helped protect
Is still
it.
protecting America.
And so it's
And
personal to us.
we need more of that.
And
Yeah.
the Apache helicopter, I mean,
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and
yeah.
the Afghanistanis are enjoying the ones that Biden left there.
Hopefully they can't fly them yet.
you know, they said that they demilitarized those. Can you demilitarize like
An
an
attack
Apache?
helicopter?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or ammunition.
I think you have to blow it up to do that. But
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's what they're for. They're for no other reason than attack helicopters.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenal story. You know, Ronald Reagan said that patriotism was not handed down from generation to generation. But I think he was wrong. I really believe that in many cases, I know in my case too, I had people that fought in the American Revolution. Actually, Catherine and I talked, or Kathleen.
it's okay.
On both
I'm going to make you
sides.
give me $1 every time.
Oh, gosh. You know, they've actually fought on both sides, but all my life I've thought about American history, and wouldn't it be great to have ancestors that fought in there? And then as I got older, I did some genealogy and found that they were involved. And so I'm very proud of that. But as you know, Ray, you and I both have always been active. And you have, ever since I've known you, you've been involved. And you've been involved in some political, I don't want to call them political issues, but they are, unfortunately. And that is civil liberties for women. Tell us a little bit about what you've done in the protection of young girls.
Okay. Yeah, well, for 11 years, I've been working on anti-sex trafficking and anti-human trafficking, primarily of children, and getting laws changed and working to make people aware of online how groomers, predators, are reaching our children online through video games, through platforms like Facebook and TikTok and others. And they seduce these children, primarily girls, but also some boys. And we have children that will walk out their front door and parents don't see them again because they think they're going off to be with some boyfriend or someone who cares about them. And we have 342 missing children in Arizona right now.
Ooh.
And we are constantly, this year alone, our group has helped recover 7 girls, all girls, that thought they were going off to meet a boyfriend. And we've gotten back 4 of them, and actually 5 of them, and we're still missing 2 children that have been.
Now, some of these can end up in tragedy as well, can't they?
Yes, we have 2 missing kids right now that we don't know their status. We've been blessed that some of the girls were gone for not very many days. Some are longer. The sooner that we can find out when someone goes missing, a lot of times cops are busy right now. They don't have enough resources, so they'll say this is a runaway case when maybe it's an abduction. It gets mischaracterized. And so we're trying to make people smarter that if you wouldn't let this person who's on your child's phone into your home, you probably don't want your child playing a game with them, talking to them. You really need to know as parents who has access to your children. Never mind the public schools and everything else that's going on with our kids. There's so many people trying to indoctrinate and get in front of our children and distract them, and a lot of them have nefarious purposes.
And this is one of the deep, dark things that happen in America that nobody seems to really want to talk about. It's ugly, and it happens. And, we've seen recently a lot of politicians, especially when you call it, was it Lolita Island? And we had numerous people, Bill Gates,
Not
Clinton.
Not the supervisor.
Not the supervisor that we
Okay.
know of. But anyway, Bill Gates, the billionaire, and from
Microsoft.
Seattle, Microsoft. Yeah, and then we've had numerous politicians been on the docket to fly to that island. And from what I understand, that's mostly underage girls. Now, I don't know where they're getting them from, and I don't know whether they're under duress or whether their own.
Well, that's Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein's partner, who I don't know if she's still in jail or not, but she used to go around schoolyards and give out her card and number, and then those girls would come, and then whatever happened, and including the prince from Wales.
Prince of Wales, was it?
Yeah.
No, I don't know there was a Prince of Wales, but he was an English prince.
Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew, yeah.
Yeah, was also on that docket. This used to be the way, right? Bill Clinton would go to other countries and they'd bring in young girls for him. I mean, this has been going on, unfortunately, and they got away with it until people started speaking out. And I think if we've done anything is we've taught people to speak out. If you've been sexually abused or assaulted or someone's done something inappropriate, we have started to teach our young people that they need to say something. And so we had Dr. Larry Nassar, the one that was with all the gymnasts, and we had Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
And so these Backpage.com, that trial may get terminated tomorrow, but they were selling children in 92 different countries. They were 80% of the child sex trafficking market in the world, and they lived here. So
Kathleen has been a pioneer in this ever since I've known her. That's the one thing. I think that's where I first met you, was discussion of abuse of children, especially women or young girls. And then, now, 4 years ago, not quite 4, but you ran for, were you in politics before that? I mean, I knew you before then, but I thought that was the first time you ran.
I ran for city council and lost by 400 and some votes in Mesa, and then I ran for the community college board, and that was a really successful run. So that was county-wide in Maricopa County, and I got a good percentage of the vote. I worked really hard.
Let me pause there just for a minute, because this is important. It was a year when she ran with several other people. We had her on a radio show that I was doing for Ron Harders at the time.
That's right.
And we had them there, and she's the only one that ran, or that won, rather. And it was sad because the others were very well qualified and very well-meaning people. And the thing that was so nice about this, she ran county-wide, and she won because people know her character and how dedicated. She's tireless. I mean, I couldn't keep up with her. She's just tireless. And I know where you have to go after here. So you've got a couple of hours of driving once you leave the station here.
And I'll tell you that I appreciate that characterization, but if you're committed to something, like I still am, because I'm serving in that governing board till December of next year, because somebody has to fight the liberals every day, and it's like getting my exercise. I think we need to understand that education is a place where we cannot concede, any more of our conservative beliefs to the other side, from critical race theory to forced masking and vaccinations to whatever else they want to indoctrinate our students with. And education has to be a place where kids get taught how to think, not what to think.
Yes,
and we
exactly.
we are indoctrinating, and right now the administration of the community college I think is making some poor choices, but we'll work it out, and we just need to hold them to account. That is a taxpayer-funded community college.
Well, you know, I just heard in the state of Virginia, there's a gubernatorial contest. One has been they have some really goofy laws. I guess you can't run twice, but you can run twice if there's a space in between. So they're getting this one. They were discussing education the other day, and believe it or not, the Democrats said that parents shouldn't have an input into what is taught in school. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, schools are secondary education to what parents should be teaching their children. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, today it takes two incomes to really survive in this country. And don't think for a moment that's not without plan. But we no longer have a mom. You know, when I was a kid, mom stayed home. And my mom taught me a lot of things. And this weekend, I was at a friend of mine, very close friend, that actually built the set here, had passed away. And they had asked people to stand up and say something about him, which I did. And the one thing that I could say, and this is an important thing, and my mother taught me this. This is what's so important about this. And it was, service to humanity is the best work of God. And, you know,
who will be the greatest in the kingdom? The one who serves.
Yes, the ones who serve. And this was so important because this man, look, we have this wonderful set here. He built this himself. How much do we owe you, Terry? Nothing. Just take care of it next time. That's the way he was.
Yeah.
And he was of service to humanity. He knew the value of what we were doing, and he was willing to put not only the money but his skill. This is a beautiful
It's gorgeous.
table. I mean, he just could have thrown a piece of plywood on there and said, here, you know, or just a plastic table. But he built this himself with love. But that's what my mother taught me. Schools can't teach those things. You'd need a parent in school. And because of the scenario today, I'm afraid that so many kids don't see moms and dads very often.
You know, I was shopping this weekend, and I see this little boy. He's about 7 years old, and I was chatting with him. His mom was busy doing some stuff, and I said, "Are you here helping mom?" "Oh, yes, yes." And I said, "Do you help mom at home?" "Oh, yes, yes." And I said, "You take out the garbage?" "Oh, no, I don't take out the garbage because my mom doesn't want me to." And she stopped what she was doing, and she looked at him, and she said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, mom doesn't want me to." She goes, "I've never said that I don't want you to do that." He goes, "Yeah, but helping out like that, that's all old school. You're just old school." And I said,
Wow.
"No, you should be looking after your mom in everything you do. You need to make your bed. You need to help mom with the laundry. You need to pick up after yourself. You need to clean up your yard. You need to do all those things." "Oh, that's just old school." You know, you having both of these positions, you got to be juggling things a lot. And I'm curious.
Especially with the number of children that she's raised, and all successful.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. I have to say, they are all college graduates. 6, like I said, 6 of the 7 are married, and they're all doing well. No, you know, our home has a basement. No one's living there. I just think it's really important that,
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know, right?
That is awesome.
Well,
I think I get extra points for that.
You do.
I know a few that might want to be adopted.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with regard to the trafficking.
Yes.
You know, did you find that the previous administration was much more helpful and in tune with trying to bring that all not only to the surface but bring it to an end, much more than this administration?
I don't think there's any comparison. I think that what we had the last 4 years, we had supportive law enforcement. We changed laws. We acknowledged families that had lost people to trafficking and victims, and we encouraged survivors of trafficking, and we've done a lot for that. And right now at our border, we have hundreds of thousands of people coming across the border. We're not really detaining anyone or deporting anyone, so we have women and children showing up at the border with phone numbers on their hands, and they say we're turning them over to relatives, but we pretty much are turning them over to their traffickers.
Right.
And so exponentially, and we have, because we're not detaining or deporting, we've had a 3,000% increase in sexual predators coming into this country.
Wait, hold on. Just for everybody to hear this again. What percentage more?
3,000%.
3,000% more under this administration in the last, what,
Yes.
10 months?
Yes.
Nine
Now, let me help our listening audience what that means. We're going to translate it.
Gosh.
This is President Trump. He was really America first. President, how did Martin call him? Bai Dong, he used to call him, because he put him on as being Chinese. Bai Dong.
Well, there's something to that.
Yeah.
And this man. Look, there's no shame in this administration, which bothers me a great deal.
There's
I
no
don't know
truth.
about you. There's no truth. There's no shame. They keep telling you, well, there's no problem on the border. Are you kidding? Where are you guys at? What you...
I think I shared this with you, but about 10 weeks ago now, I was down at the border, and
Yes.
And the Border Patrol was on their way to this group of people, and one of the people that was being brought up was under duress, and he was dehydrated. And so by the time they got to him, he'd passed away. He was probably 17 years old.
Wow.
And there's been hundreds of people that have died in the desert. And the people that are coming up, the cartels have started to put wristbands on them. So if you're a Mexican national, it costs about $7,500 to come across the border. But if you're from another country, it's somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. And if you show up and you're in one of these groups and you don't have a wristband, they'll either kill you or they'll enslave you. And the trip to the border is horrific. And the atrocities that are going on, and just the pure evil. And remember, when Donald Trump was president, they complained about kids in cages. We have people
Which was a leftover from Obama.
And we've got people living under bridges. We have women who are being brought up here that are being raped. We have prisons being opened in Central America and Mexico, and they've let all their criminals out, and we have no one checking our border. If you go north into the country from Arizona-Mexico border, there's 7 border stations that are unmanned. If you wanted to hurt someone in the U.S. and go south, there's no one checking you as you go in through Nogales.
Yeah.
So we have an open border. That is what this administration is doing, and we don't even know who's in our country right now.
But, we're focusing on this, pandemic, and Dr. Fauci was on this weekend, and you heard what he said. She point blank said, shouldn't we be concerned with all of these migrants coming across the border, these illegals? They're not being checked for diseases and all. Oh, no. They're not the issue. The Americans are the issue. And I thought, wow, that's, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, here's a highly educated man who's basically just trying to pull the wool over the average person's eyes, but people are believing this. And I'm reminded of the movie Taken. Remember Liam Neeson?
Absolutely.
And they're in a foreign country, and his daughter was taken by this cartel type and drugged and just put into trafficking. And people think, oh, that's just a movie. But this really happens. This is what's happening, and it's not in a foreign country, it's in our own neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So I applaud you and I appreciate you and really revere what you're doing, helping out all these, human trafficking as well as child trafficking.
I appreciate that. And the thing that's most important is our law enforcement is being asked to do things that are outside the scope of their job, outside of, you just pointed, these people have tuberculosis, they have other diseases, measles, mumps.
They've been eradicated from this country. Listen, we're talking to Kathleen Win. How was that?
That was awesome.
That was
that good?
awesome, wasn't it?
Good.
At any rate, and we've got more. We're going to find out what her plans are for the future. You're going to be surprised. Don't go away. We'll be right back.